What's up, guys? Welcome back to Getting Swole, episode 16 here. Chest and biceps. Some good, some not so good. Highlights from this workout. Starting off here with the bench press. Set 1, 280, same as I did last week. Last week I got top set of 6 reps here, failed 7, and on this day, the same exact thing. So there was no increase with the 280 pounds. You know, the good times can only last for so long. All right. Finally hit a hiccup. I would call it a hiccup. Finally hit one of those with flat bench. You know, it was like 4 to 5 weeks straight of just adding a rep, getting stronger, getting a lot stronger. There were a few weeks where I was adding even 2 to 3 reps. You know, you guys saw the 275 or whatever. Did it for 2 about a month ago, and then bam, 2 weeks ago, or 1 week ago, did it for like 4. Or I'm sorry, 5. So the reps were just exploding. The strength was exploding. Everything was very inflated. And now it's time to get knocked down, back down to reality, I should say. All right. No increase on that. Then I went to 315, and I wanted to get a rep here with cleaner form, and I did just that. All right, if you guys remember, if you were watching 2 weeks ago when I did hit 315, the form wasn't that great. All right, ass came up way off the bench. Right here, I kind of corrected all that, and this is only my second time getting 315. All right, so for me to correct that form up, clean that form up, I should say, tells me I'm getting stronger. All right, you guys can see right here, coming down any moment now, and ass comes off the bench slightly, but that is perfect, healthy leg drive right there, and I'm fired up. All right, 315, something I thought I'd never be able to do, and I'm doing it, so proving myself wrong. Now right here, I got 265. I have not attempted this to a set of failure yet. If you guys remember, I did 250 last week, or maybe 2 weeks ago. I forget. The days are blurring together now, but I did that for about 11. And right here, I was like, I got to get 7, at least 7. And I ended up getting 8, failing 9. So, and I thought my form was very clean throughout this whole set. Felt awesome. All right. And what are my goals right now for the bench press? Just to get stronger. You know, I know I failed 280 for 7, but I might actually go up to 290 next week and try to hit that for a 5. You guys are probably like, dude, 280, you didn't increase on a rep. Why would you go to 290? And the thing is, I do not want to get hung up on a certain weight. All right, I know a lot of guys have progressive overload anxiety. If they don't get that extra rep every week, they're in the dumps, right? They're freaking depressed, all right? They're letting it affect the rest of their life. I'm not like that. Okay, I've never really been like that. I don't get depressed if I don't increase on a rep, because I know it's not sustainable. It's just not. Maybe if I was, or I should say, maybe if it was a perfect world, it would be, but it's not a perfect world. You know, you're going to hit a few bumps as you go down the road. It's just going to happen. All right. Now, incline here, 205 for 9. Now, that is, in fact, a PR. Added 1 from last week where I only got 8. And then I got the second set right here, pretty sure. And I get 8. All right. So, looking pretty good on that. Last week, I did the same thing. I doubled up on 205. And I only got 7 the second set. So, I wrote that down in my notes as an increase on with 1 rep for both sets. All right, so moving in the right direction for incline, and I'm cleaning up my form a little bit too. I always find it hard to have correct leg drive on incline bench press. It's just always felt awkward to me. You know, flat, it's like, all right, we got to arch the lower back, pinch the scap, you know, in my scenario, push the balls of the feet towards my upper back to that mirror behind the bench. All right. the wall behind my head. Incline, it's a lot different, putting an incline on the bench really really makes you adapt your body to the weight you're trying to push. And for me, it's awkward, I will be honest here. All right, got weighted dips here. Haven't done 245s hanging from my waist in a long time. It's been about a little over a year, but I wanted to attempt it because 145 last week felt way too easy. I got way over 11 reps, I think it was. And right there I just wrote 300 pounds because my body weight's 210 plus the 245s, 300. And I got that for 7. So gonna be doing that again this Monday coming up for the next chest and biceps day. And try to get probably an 8er on that, at 8 spot. So excited to start doing the dips again. Dips are just a great exercise. All right. I don't know why I took them out of my program for so long, but they're fun to do. And when you add some weight to the waist, they really feel pretty badass. All right. Got the barbell curls here. Heavy. Set 1, 125. Got 8. That adds a rep from last week. And then set 2 went down to the 120. And I got that for 8 as well. Now I want to return to the bench press because I do think a lot of you guys, just a lot of lifters out there, young lifters in general, can benefit from some advice on their technique. Right? And I used to think I had like the perfect bench technique. And then I started doing some research and I found out that my bench press form, technique, whatever you want to call it, it wasn't that great. Right? It wasn't as great as I thought it was. I wasn't doing correct leg drive. My ass would come up off the bench quite a lot, which is a big no-no unless you're like squeezing out the last rep or the first rep of a new weight that you've never attempted before. That's supposed to be pretty gritty, all right? But for the most part, you're doing sets to failure. It's not supposed to come off the bench. And mine was always coming off the bench when I'd get to like the final 2 reps of a set, 1 rep, 2 rep, or whatever, the last 2, it would always come off. And I came across a few videos of guys much more experienced than I am with the bench press. Guys who have way more experience. And I was listening to them, and then I learned all about the leg drive to push behind you, almost like you're trying to slide your upper back where your traps are behind you instead of pushing your ass up, because you have a huge leak of energy, I should say, when you bring your ass up. And it might make it easier, but really you're just making the range of motion shorter to the J hooks. That's why it makes it easier. So yeah, really try to keep that ass on the bench and push back behind you, it should feel like. And of course, you want the scapula, contracted, whatever you want to call it. You want to be, people call it shoulders pinched, okay? Keep the shoulders pinched, chest up. Some guys do just a slight arch. I feel like I do a pretty moderate arch. And then there's other guys that do a crazy ass arch. I never really got into that, but there are guys that do that. And if you are a guy who likes to drive through the heels or the balls of your feet, you're going to have to find that out by yourself. Okay, I'm a guy who loves using the balls of my feet because my knee mobility allows me to do that with my feet behind my knees. And that's where you're the strongest. Okay, if your feet are in front of your knees when you're trying to bench press, it's not really going to go too well for you. All right, the feet have to be behind the knees. All right, knees over toes. And if you can do that with your heels, you feel way stronger at your heels doing that, then so be it. But if you're like me, balls of the feet, you got to do whatever works for you, whatever's going to give you the advantage. Also, I have found success when I go into my leg drive to kind of flare my knees out a little bit and not keep them so strict. I kind of like to compare this to the French press, okay, whether you're doing a cable or a dumbbell. Instead of keeping the elbows so strictly pointed to the sky, the ceiling, whatever, flare them out a little bit. The same goes for the legs with the bench press when you're doing the leg drive. Okay, I feel way stronger when I do that. If I try to restrict my legs and keep them tight, I lose 20, 25 pounds on my bench press. It's pretty significant. So I'm not sure if you guys have the same problem or if you will have the same problem, but play around with it, all right? You're not going to get good at it if you don't practice it, all right? Preacher curls right there. Did 95 pounds for 9, which is a +2. All right, that is freaking awesome. Wrote down in my notes, all caps. That was awesome. Set 2 was 90 pounds for 9. Another great set, right? Very gritty, balls to the wall set. And that's pretty much all I got for you guys in this one, all right? Thank you so much for watching. I tweaked my back a little bit doing deadlifts the other day, so I have kind of been taking it easy a little bit, but I'm very excited to get these next few videos up and out to you guys. So yeah, stay tuned for that. And I will see you guys very soon. Thanks again for watching.